request that Mr. Kamen either be given time served as of today and released so that he can get back to his job, or be afforded the ability to serve any remaining time that the court thinks is appropriate within the terms of the plea recommendation on a tether, so that, again, he could keep his employment, which I think is important, not only for his mental health and his ability to keep his feet on the ground, finish out payment of the fines and costs, but additionally meet the other obligations that he has to other members of his family. So that is our request at this time, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Perklow. Ms. Cass, do you wish to be heard?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Kamen has violated 4 different areas of his probation. We think the recommendation of 60 days is appropriate to be held in jail and not with tether. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kamen, this is your opportunity if you'd like to say anything.
I just want to know that I was not at any point ever trying to thumb my nose at the probation. I got behind. I didn't report, and instead of doing what I should have done and just reporting, I just kind of went, oh, ignore it and it'll go away, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do the right thing. I should have just reached out to people. There was plenty of people in place to help. I would like to, like I said, at no time have I tried to thumb my nose. I would like to be able to some reasonable, be able to keep my employment, not as just for me, but also for my family, so that my kids still have a stable place to live. My significant other doesn't work. I know she's taking care of my kids right now, but she has limited. You know what I mean? She doesn't have any funds or any way of supporting them. She just basically is babysitting them. And I would be willing to adhere to any kind of sentence that may help me keep my employment of some sort. I can, and also I would be able to make the payment of whatever fines, my total fines and court costs are. I could make that payment today if I could get to my bank. I have the funds to pay it off in full as of today.
All right, Mr. Kamen, is there anything else you'd like to share?
Oh, no, just I'm very sorry to take up the court's time with this.
Well, Mr. Kamen, we gave you an opportunity to stay employed when this happened. As I look back on this for your sentencing, this was a 2022 case. You were sentenced in July of 2023. At that time, you brought in a lot of baggage with you, going back about, I don't know, 30 plus years. I mean, you've got felony OWIs, you've got OUIL, I don't know, how many do I count here? 1, 2, 3, at least 4 of them. Assault and battery, felony larceny in a building, possession of THC, possession of cocaine, resisting and obstructing, a couple other traffic things. So when you were sentenced, we gave you a break. You had 2 bond violations already at that time. And as I look at them, they were serious bond violations. You violated your bond first by having contact with the person that you were not supposed to have contact with. And then you were arrested on June 4th in respect to this matter for another domestic violence. You were on bond for domestic violence. Then you had another bond violation for drinking. You had, I believe it was a 0.17 breath test that was significant in in June again of 2023. So you came in for sentencing in July. All these things were put in place. You were given an opportunity to avoid jail then. You were given 30 days in jail with credit for 10 days served, 20 days suspended to do 40 days of jail tether. You were to attend your appointments with North Point, complete your counseling with North Point, complete a substance abuse assessment and follow up. You were subject to no drugs, alcohol, random screens, behavior clause, no contact with Miss Cotton. And that was in July. You reported in August. And you called and had a discussion with your probation officer. That was on August 22nd. You voluntarily admitted that you'd slipped up and would test positive for meth. In regard to the matter then, there was a positive test, a screen that came back for meth.
If I may, Your Honor,
Wait, I'm not done, no. Then you went back to your probation officer September 12th and fell off the face of the earth after that. The drug screen was positive for amphetamine and methamphetamine. It was sent out for a confirmatory test. So then you fall off the face of the earth. And long about January, the probation department files a bunch of probation violations. So you have these pending violations for the failure to comply with your payment order, failure to attend your appointments with North Point, and failure to report your probation officer. So then instead, you didn't come to court, you didn't bother to show up. And then when they got arrested, you didn't take the test. And you would have me believe it's because you were unable or for some reason to provide a sufficient sample. I'm not sure why you didn't do it, but with all of those red flags going up, the positive test for meth, all of these other things, that's why we make the assumption that no production is a positive, because we'd be waiting in line for everybody who can't produce because they are whatever. So, Mr. Kamen, you've had every break in the world. You had your chance. This is my time. I'm talking. In respect to the matter, Mr. Kamen, you had every opportunity in the world to comply with probation. You had every opportunity to stay employed and work for your children, but you decided to fall off the face of the earth and not do anything that you were given the opportunity to keep your employment over. And so I think these recommendations, sir, are appropriate. I'm sorry if you're going to lose your employment, but you need to look back in the mirror and say, I, Sean Kamen, could have avoided this had I worked out, reached out. You know the system. You know how it is. This is not your first brush with the law. You've been having brushes with the law for the last 30 plus years. So, Mr. Kamen, what was it that you would like to say now?
the only, if I may, Your Honor, the only thing I wanted to say was the one thing that was helping me with my sobriety was my job, because I have to take randoms at work. I get random every month at work. So that was helping with all my sobriety. That's the only thing I wanted to put out there. It wasn't just the fact of having the job and the stability, it was also helping me with my sobriety, because it's a union job and they random you all the time there. So it was helping with keeping my sobriety. That was all.
Mr. Kamen, I am sorry. I don't like to have anybody lose their employment, and I work very, very hard to ensure people don't. But sometimes people make their own mistakes and put themselves in the position that you have. And for those reasons, I'm sorry, but you have made your own problems here. I'm going to follow these recommendations. We're discharging you unsuccessfully from probation. The outstanding balance is $765. There's a $200 attorney fee assessment. I'll order $50 a month beginning 60 days after his jail release and every 30th day thereafter until paid in full. Mr. Kamen must advise the district court clerk in writing of any change of address and phone number and or employment within 7 days of any change until fines and costs are paid in full. That's a total of $965. I'm going to order 60 days in jail in respect to the probation violations, 34 days credit, 10 days for the failure to appear, concurrently 10 days credit. Mr. Kamen, in respect to the matter, you have the right to appeal the order of the court to the circuit court. That appeal must be taken within 21 days of the date of your sentencing or as permitted pursuant to Michigan Court Rule 6.625B. If your sentence includes incarceration, and if you wish to file an appeal but are financially unable to retain a lawyer on appeal, you can apply through Michigan Indigent Defense Commission and the State Appellate Defender Office to see if you will qualify for an attorney on appeal. That request must be taken within 14 days of your sentencing. Do you understand that, advisor?
The only thing I had a question was on you said concurrently on the 60 days, does that mean I have the remainder of the 34 served and I have 26 to do? Is that what I'm understanding?
Right.
Okay. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I understood how many I had left to serve, Your Honor. Thank you.
And if you get your good time, you should have 16 days left.
Okay.
All right, good luck to you,
I might still be able to get my job back. Maybe I still get my job back afterwards. There's always hope.
I hope so. I hope so for you, Mr. Kamen. I please hope that this is a learning lesson, not to bury your head in the sand. That's not a good choice. You're old enough to know
Nope.
better, so you're 50 years old.
The nice thing is after 16 days, they finally get to maybe legally see the person that I haven't been able to see for a year and a half and start making it up to them.
All right, well, you're not on probation, so please don't come back here for any kind of domestic violence, Mr. Kamen. I hope you learned a few lessons. Good luck to you, sir.
That's part of this. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.